The NFL Combine has officially wrapped up, and there's been quite a change in the momentum and how the two quarterbacks at the top of the draft are being looked at. Cam Ward now is the proverbial favorite by a large margin, according to most reports, in terms of how teams view him versus Sanders. And Zach Jackson on the radio said teams view Sanders more as a second-round prospect than as a number 2 overall pick candidate. That was what Zach Jackson said, not me. Don't get mad at me. Just throwing it out there.
Second round.
Adam Schefter was on the Part of My Take podcast over the weekend from the Combine and was asked about what the Browns are going to do with the number 2 pick. And he kind of confirmed what a lot of us thought was going to happen. So let's listen to Schefter real quick from Part of My Take, and then we'll discuss what he had to say.
All right, interesting. What about Cleveland? What can Cleveland do at the quarterback position?
To me, they have to draft a quarterback with their first pick, which I assume to be 2, but maybe they go up to 1 to lock it in, the guy they want. They're not very far from the top, and Tennessee could go back 1 slot and get basically whoever they want if they're not going to go quarterback. And the Titans are still going through their process. They've spoken to teams and told them, we're interested in talking, but we need to get through our process first, go through the combine, go through pro days before they derive their decision about what they're going to do at 1. Cleveland, to me, I predict it'll be a quarterback, period. I think they have to do quarterback. They're that high. They're that financially strapped with Deshaun Watson. There's that much of a need. You need something to uplift the spirits of the organization. I believe the Browns go quarterback.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So Schefter says he believes the Browns are going quarterback at 2. That is the growing sentiment leaving Indianapolis after the Combine. So, let's do this.
Okay.
Dream scenario, quarterback-wise for the Browns. They can't be a non-quarterback situation, but dreams in terms of getting a quarterback. What's your dream scenario for the Browns now in the draft with this new knowledge from Adam Schefter and others?
Dream scenario for me now is after I watched the Combine and, looked at some different things and from hearing that, dream scenario is if they can, somehow finagle and get Cam Ward. If the Tennessee Titans may take a look at a defensive lineman, that means you have the best options to pick the best quarterbacks. Will Howard didn't look that well at the, not saying that he won't be, better at his pro day, but, Jackson Dart, some of the other guys, nobody really blew anybody away. And so if you got the number 1 pick at quarterback that you can get on the board, if the Titans want to take Abdul Carter, I'm standing there and taking Cam Ward. And I think there's even if I don't get Cam Ward, I still got Shedeur Sanders right in my back pocket. Like, I feel like you take the quarterback, you work with the quarterback, and you make something of it. And I think he says something really, really special right there. And this is like been kind of waved over, Earl. It's like he said the Browns need something to lift their spirits. I know a lot of times we thinking the main reason why we won't take somebody, and we've been thinking about all the different ways not to take a quarterback. But when you look at the way this quarterback class and the quarterbacks have gone for 10 years, the Browns have taken L's. They've taken PR L's. They've taken L's on the field. They've had injury L's. They've taken L's so many times. And the only thing that can get people to really understand and feel better about the organization is to have some sort of hope that the next guy that they bring in is going to change that. Is that guy?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I'm one of those people that's in a weird situation because I really, really like both prospects. My dream scenario, though, is somehow, some way Cam Ward falls to the Cleveland Browns, right? He might not have the accuracy or the football IQ, above the neck that Shedeur Sanders has, but like he has the arm strength, he has the athleticism, and he got that dog mentality, right? They are very, very different people, but the same people, right? Or they take different roads to get to the same end goal, so to speak. When you look at Cam Ward, he's not as vocal. He's more of a, actions over words type of dude. But he walks around with this chip on his shoulder because throughout his life and throughout his playing days, he's always had to prove himself. He's always had to prove that he was worthy, right? And one of the things that you can never measure is somebody's heart, right? Because when somebody tell you that you can't do something or you're not going to be that good at doing something, there are a few people in this world that's just built different. The more that you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to show you how much that I can do it, right? And then you look at Shedeur is very vocal, right? And he will tell you exactly what it is and what it ain't. Now, people might say he talked too much, but in life, man, Like, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You can speak positive affirmations over your life and over your career. And Shedeur believes that he's great. Shedeur that believes he's always been great and he will continue to be great. He believes that he can walk into any organization and change the narrative of that franchise, right? And I think in the city of Cleveland, I think that the fan base will appreciate both, right? They will appreciate somebody that will speak positive about the city, speak positive about being in this situation, and speak positive about, hey, I can be the person that turn this around. People might not like everything that come with Shedeur, but if he was to put on the brown and orange and you heard him speak like that, you'll be all on board. And I think it's no different with Cam Ward. They will respect the fact that he's always had his back against the wall, that he's always had to work harder than most, and that he made something out of nothing. And like, to me, that's why I really, really like both prospects. I think they're both good locker room dudes. I think they both are leaders, and I think either one of them can turn this thing around. But my dream scenario, run to the podium, turn that card in if Cam Ward is there.
All right, so my dream scenario, I want even a little deeper than this. I want the New York Jets to trade up to the number 1 pick.
Okay, let me see this.
And draft Shedeur Sanders.
Okay.
Because do you know what other franchise has equally as bad historical track record of drafting bad quarterbacks? It's the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders. So if the Jets take Shedeur and the Browns end up with Cam Ward, to me that's the best case scenario because for 2 reasons. One, it doesn't give the Browns the choice and the choice to potentially pick wrong. At that point, you are stuck with Cam because that is the pick. And if Shedeur turns out to be awesome, congrats to Shedeur. I hope it happens. But you can't say, oh, the Browns messed up and took the wrong guy. It was out of their hands. I want the decision to be taken out of Cleveland's hands. And that's why I want a team with an equally as bad track record of drafting quarterbacks to trade up ahead of Cleveland so they can get the guy I really want at 2 in Cam Ward. And then also, I want them to take a flyer on a guy in the 3rd round. They have 11 picks in this draft. 11 rookies are not making the Browns' 53-man roster in 2025. They just don't have simply the roster space for that. It is the most important position in football. You have done a terrible job drafting quarterbacks since you returned to Cleveland in '99. Why not, G? Take the guy you want at 2, or take a guy at 2, and then in the 3rd or 4th round, if there's another guy that you had a decent grade on, take another swing at the apple. The Redskins back in the day did it with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins turned out to have the better career, but RG3 had that special rookie season. We don't know what would have happened if injuries didn't derail his career, but I don't think anyone looks back at Washington and said, can't believe they drafted 2 quarterbacks. It's insurance on your pick, and there's a chance you miss both. There's certainly a chance, but I'd rather have 2 bites at the apple than 1 bite at the apple. So in my dream scenario, I have the decision taken out of the Browns' hands. They still get the guy they really want in Cam Ward, and then take a flyer in the 3rd round on Milroe if he falls, McCord, anyone that you like in that range.
I'm identifying a person in the 3rd round. I've now put my eye on him. Quinn Ewers.
I'll take it.
Quinn Ewers. Listen, he's been left for dead. People don't talk about him no more. He better hold on to that NIL money because he might not make no NFL money. Hold on to that tight. Don't be doing too much. But I like him in the 3rd round. I don't think his arm strength is that great. But look, I mean,
neither is Shedeur's, but who cares?
But hey, look, at that point in the 3rd round, see what I want is I want a couple of viable candidates because think about it.
So you like the idea of taking 2 quarterbacks?
Heck yeah,
okay. Me too.
If I didn't need a running back, I would be like, hey man, if one of them quarterbacks slip, like I think Jalen Milroe is going to be the person that people kind of look at and be like, listen, he's such a freak of nature. Like I mean, can I waste a 3rd round pick? Can I move up to go get him? Because I wouldn't be mad if they had to move up and go get him a little bit.
If they like 2, I'm with you. I don't care if you have to move up to get. Let's just say it's Milroe, for example. If you move up a few spots to get the guy you want because you like him better than the other options in that round, go do it.
Yeah. And then
you know what? No team's ever said, G. We have too many good quarterbacks.
Never.
No team in the history of football has ever said our quarterback room is too good.
And Earl, the Browns, all their quarterbacks get hurt every year anyway.
I mean, the Browns don't have no choice but to add depth and revamp this entire quarterback room. So taking 2 quarterbacks in the NFL draft to me makes sense, right? You get 2 guys that's on a rookie contract. You already know Deshaun Watson won't be in the fold, but you're still paying him. And then more than likely you're going to sign a veteran quarterback.
Yep.
And so for a lot of different reasons, it makes sense to take 2 quarterbacks. You want to give yourself 2 opportunities to get it right. And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You try again next year. There is no finished product in this draft, whether it be the quarterbacks, the pass rushers, the wide receivers, whatever, right? Everybody gonna have to get to the NFL and prove that if they worthy or not of being here. And so, it is what it is. Like the Browns found themselves in this situation. This is the only way you can find yourself out of it.
And what I love is in those scenarios, I've settled on a veteran quarterback too. If you're gonna have two young dudes, give me Kirk Cousins.
But we're gonna get to the options they gave us.
I like how he moves. He's a man of faith. He don't do too much. He goes through the process. He's going to teach these young dudes how to get their body right, their mind. Here's how you study and prepare. See, we need to start all the way over. You got to think about it. There's a lot of guys with Deshaun Watson, that was almost like adopting somebody.
Yeah.
It's different when you have somebody from birth. Like,
for sure.
You like, I can mold you and shape you and get your habits together. But by the time we got Watson, he was already who he was. Like, so now let's start it off right. Let's get the right parameters and everything around people so we could get it straight from Jump Street.
I wonder if some of the smoke we've heard from the Combine about Cam Ward being looked at that differently than Shedeur is simply just smoke to entice a team to move up. So the Browns, because we don't know who's putting out the smoke, right? You never know.
Yeah.
Anonymous team, I hear from room, like you never know who's really putting it out there. I'm curious if the Browns are trying to hype up Ward to get a team to trade into that number one spot to take him because they really do like Shedeur, or vice versa. Whether Tennessee's trying to get someone, it's all impossible to track down and trace where these rumors are coming from. But I did hear a Cam Ward story that I wanted to mention over the weekend. I think it was either Bucky Brooks or Daniel Jeremiah. I forget who said it, but they were talking to Cam Ward prior to the Pop-Tart Bowl, and they were talking to his receivers about Cam Ward's leadership style. And Jacoby George, who's one of their senior receivers this year, who has a chance to get drafted, said that Cam forced the entire receiving room to watch hours of film with him. And if you missed a film session or whatever, he wouldn't throw to you in practice that day. And if you missed multiple film sessions, he would tell the coaches, just don't even put him in the game. He demanded that level of, if I'm going to be in here watching film and studying to prepare our team for a chance to win, you better be in there, and you better be in there, and the offensive line better be with me. And I don't know, Shedeur might do the exact same thing, but how do you not love that, right?
He sounded like his favorite player was Kobe.
Kind of, yeah.
He sounded like that straight Mamba mentality right there. Like, you know what? Why should I throw you the football and you ain't even in here with me watching film?
That's Smush Parker.
Kobe talked about Allen Iverson, and this is Allen Iverson's prime, man. Allen Iverson was like, bro, I be going to the club. I'm there. I'm practice late. He said, listen, all right, well, listen how we going to do. If you hang out with me, I hang out with you. He said, I'll hang out with you in the club, but you better be up, ready to go at 6 a.m. I was like, let's go, let's do it. Man, he said, bro, when we went to the club, it was 2, 3 o'clock. Man, Kobe was sitting there looking around. Kobe was up. 2 hours later, in the gym getting taped, he called him, like, where you at, dog? No, we go send his people over to go get him. Get him up.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. I say, yo, that's the way, that's that mentality.
Accountability.
And I love that story because here's the thing. Remember how we talked about how all these times we had these discussions about whether so-and-so and so-and-so is on the right page. Mm-hmm. Bro, how could you not be on the right page and all y'all got is time and energy? Y'all could be after practice. Y'all could be in the film room together. Y'all could eat dinner together for all I care. How you not on the same page? And that's how you get there.
And this is at the University of Miami, where there's no shortage of distractions. It's not like...
It's the distraction.
Cam Ward started his career at Incarnate Word. It's in a suburb of San Antonio in the middle of nowhere. It's an FCS school. If he was doing that there, and I'm sure he still was, but okay, San Antonio. You've heard Charles Barkley stories. Like, there are distractions, but it's not the city of illusion like Miami.
State.
In Miami,
he goes to Washington State, ain't nothing there either.
In Miami, there's nothing but distractions.
It just says a lot about him, man. My father used to say all the time, man, the extra mile never really has a lot of traffic on it.
Yeah.
And when you're willing to go the extra mile, like you differentiate yourself from other people. And so, like, then hearing stories like that, it will get you excited about a cat like that. But I like either prospect.
I do too.
I like either prospect. And what I like is, I think that all these experts have kind of brainwashed some of the fans into believing that these dudes are not good quarterbacks. But when you hear the head coach come out and say, I think a lot of these cats can play in the NFL. I think a lot of these dudes is good prospects. We can have our own opinion. The experts can have their own opinions, but the people that got their eyes on them that's making those decisions, what matters is if they like a person or not. And so we'll see how that goes.
And hit rates on quarterbacks in the NFL draft is like 44%.
Yeah.
They miss more often than they
they
hit.
hit.
And I just go always back to the Trevor Lawrence draft. Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Justin Fields. 5 guys in the top 15 picks.
Man, do you
How many of those guys do you feel confident is a legit?
do you understand?
Maybe
Possible.
one.
Here's the crazy part about Trevor, though. From the time Trevor was a true freshman at Clemson, I personally, as a fan, had this firm belief, man. By the time when he gets to the NFL, that dude is gonna be him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the best quarterback
Everybody,
in the NFL. Like
most people
probably had the same thought. And you look at Trevor Lawrence's career right now, and it has not turned out to be what it was projected to be.
No.
So the point is, you never really
know.
None of these things is a true thing or a sure
And it
thing.
matters where you go and who's coaching.
More
you.
than anything else, I think
It
that's
matters. Like, when you get, man, it's like, that's like your first grade teacher.
If McVay drafted Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence will be
Yeah.
lit.
He'd
be the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it's situation more than anything else is crucial, and that's why we had the question. We've asked it before, and we'll continue to ask it until draft day. Do the Browns have a situation for a rookie quarterback to come in and flourish? And is Kevin Stefanski and that offensive staff the right staff to get the most out of a rookie quarterback? And we won't know till September.
And it's crazy because there's some stories that say Kevin Stefanski is very strict on quarterbacks. He wants it a certain way. But then there's certain stories where he's like, nah, we don't really care about that. We'll work around what you do best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It's like you're getting a quarterback, but you kind of getting a coach that you kind of don't know what he's going to run either. It's kind of weird.
I mean, when you got a new QB coach, you got a new offensive coordinator. So Kevin Stefanski he's done something,
New offensive line coach?
New offensive. He's done something to improve that staff and the people that's going to be dealing with the quarterbacks themselves. And we've all talked to a lot of former players who said that in order for a rookie quarterback to come to Cleveland and have any opportunity to be successful, then you got to make sure that you have the right people on the staff and then the right veteran players in that locker room for this to work.